Right, I just wanted to make a quick video on how I do my 3D photos. I see a lot of people asking, so I was just going to show my process. You just, if you type into Google CNC STL images or grayscale STL images or something like that, you'll get these kind of images pop up. Really, you want one that's got a front facing view like this. So just go through, pick the one you like. I was going to try this one. So then what I do is, because I use Photoshop, is I right click it and just copy the image, because I can paste it into Photoshop, but you could just save it as and take it to whatever program you use. So I'm going to copy image and open Photoshop and then say File, New, and it's already got this, it'll already have this one in there for you. So just double click on that and it'll open this up. Then if you press Ctrl and V, it'll paste that in there for you. So now we've got this in here. I'm just going to cut out from around the edges because I don't want all the grey. So I'm just going to take a square and drag it out, copy, Ctrl and C to copy, and then Ctrl and V to paste. I'll turn this bottom layer off. So now we've got this. What I like to do is not really necessary, but it definitely helps a bit, is if you duplicate the layer 2 times, the top layer, if you press Ctrl and I, it will invert it, and then on your blending mode you change that to vivid colour, and now it'll look like this. Then go up to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and now as you mess with this, it'll bring out more, like a bit more detail. You want to keep this low. You just try it at different stages, but I'm keeping mine at about 3. Say OK, and now if you, that layer that you just did that on, if you control and click the layer below as well, and then press Control and G, it will put them into a group. And now you can see the blending mode's changed to pass through. You want to change that to overlay and make sure that your one below is still on. So I'll show you the difference. That was how it originally looked, and now adding that, you can see it's brought out the details a lot more. So I'm going to save one as this. I'll go File, Export, Save for Web. This is how I do it, and then Save. Choose where you want to save it. Yeah, let's go desktop, and I'll call it Predator. Save. And now I'm gonna do one more just to show a difference here, because you can take this one step further that I think can sometimes help, not on every image but some, is if you click another adjustment layer down the bottom here and go up to solid color, change the solid color to white and say OK, and now take your opacity and just drop it till it looks a bit pale. Like I'm going to go maybe, as you can see, that's how it originally was, and now I'll go about 25, 26, and now I'm going to File, Export, another one, Save, call it Predator 2, just so you can see the difference. Right, now go to Image R, which is just a free program you can type in, or part of it is free. Just imageR.com, go to Upload. Now find your image, Predator, so up here. I'm going to click the darker one first. Good second, there you go. Now just scroll back down. OK, Now we go to resize. This you can put as what you want. I mean, you can put it much higher and get more dots, and I'm sure you put it lower and get less dots. About 260 dots normally works for me, but it's definitely worth trying some different ones. I'm going to say 6 inches because that's how square my piece of wood is. Well, I'm going to say 5.9 inches in the top one, and then just click and you'll see it changed the ratio. Okay. Scroll down again, and now you've got this. Say material, CO2. I'm doing mine onto wood, so I'm going to say wood. Okay. Right, and this is how it's worked it out for the wood. So I'm just going to quickly with this one, say download. Make sure you download the BMP. And I'm going to drag this BMP straight from here over the top of Lightburn. I'm going to drop it in Lightburn there, and then just quickly go back, restart, upload. I'm going to upload the lighter one. And now resize again quickly. Inches, 5.9. Okay. 260 dots per inch, right, that's for me. Okay. Okay, now it's give me that. Material, CO2, wood. Okay. And one other thing I forgot to mention on the last one that's also handy, because it does turn out quite like it's going to show you. If this finished loading, I'll show you. Okay. Down the bottom here, you can preview. If you just go past the photos, you can preview with the material. Mine's going on to birch, so you can. It's already got this. Just you have to wait again while it loads, and it'll show you roughly a preview of what it's going to look like on the wood. And normally, if your settings are correct, it's pretty close to what they're showing you. That's if it loads. Yeah, so you can see that's roughly what it should look like finished. So, okay, just click away from it and it'll go away. Now I'm gonna download this one, BMP. Yep, that's down the bottom now. I'm gonna drag that new one and drop it next to this one, and just show you for a comparison. I'm gonna click these two and go to preview. And you can see this one just has a little bit more detail in the darker areas. I mean, this one does have a bit more shadowing. Maybe what I'll do is print them both out, and then you can see the difference between them both. So that's what I do. So now I'm going to save these onto my card, onto my SD card, and take the SD card out and put it out on the laser, because I had it in like on my computer. So once I get it out onto the actual laser computer, I'll restart again from there. Right, okay, I'm back outside now, and I'm going to put this card in from indoors. Just put the card into the computer. Now I'm going to say import, find the file, which hopefully is there. Yeah, Predator. Okay, well this is the two from in there. So now, get rid of that line. Right, so because it's been done on Imager and now it's a bitmap file, you can use the pass-through mode. Just make sure your dots per inch matches what you put on Imager, Oops. So mine was 260, so yep, 260 pass through. I'll switch that on. Scan angle, I'll put that at 0 for now. Yours should be at 0 as default. But this is why afterwards we're going to change that on the second pass, but this is the first pass. I want a slower speed, like 200 speed, and lower power, around 22 maximum power. I just leave mine on 0.5 minimum power. Air assist off because it's etching. Everything else is correct. Yep, okay. And now just preview the image just to make sure, because if you haven't saved it as a bitmap, the image won't look correct here. It'll look wrong. Like you can see that these, you know, are close to looking how they should look. So just, yeah, make sure you preview it. So that's it, 200 at 22. This is our first pass, and then I'll get the second settings on the second pass. I haven't switched the laser on yet, so just switch the laser on. Let that set up and just say send. And now enter a name for your file. Yep, I'll just call it Lightburn. I've already got one called that. Yep, I'm going to overwrite. Now just give it a few seconds to send over. 3, 2, 1. Okay. And then now you just want to file, enter. Now it should look correct on here once these load. Take a second to load, but okay, let's move this stuff out of the way. Say frame just to see. Yep. Grab my piece of wood. Alright, got the lens cleaned and I've got the piece of wood there now. I'll frame it there. I just use this birch plywood. It's not really the best stuff because sometimes it has voids in it, but hopefully this one will be alright. Let's see. Just make sure it's well pinned down. This bit is pretty flat, luckily. Let's put one piece over the back here. Okay, and raise the bed up. And then drop the lens down so it touches. Okay. And change this to a time lapse, because that's ready to go now. Just show one more time. So the file does look correct in there. And I'll just quickly get the settings again on here. No, they're over there. 200 at 22. So 200 at 22 power, and you can even see on there the difference between the darker one and the lighter one. So let's see how it goes. Alright, well that's after the first pass. You can see the lighter one still edges just as dark on the lines, but not quite so dark on the background and stuff compared to this one. Where you can see it's quite dark all across, but we'll see what happens on the next pass. But yeah, let me just show that one more time. That's one of them. Alright, so that's after the first pass. So what you want to do now is go back to your file, double click your layer, what it's on, and now for the second pass I find it better to turn it up a bit faster and just I'll drop the power a little bit so now I'm going 400 speed with a 20 power. This is on an 80 watt machine. Mine is a Thunder Nova 35 80 watt. So anyway, this is 420, still 0.5 minimum, and this time under the scan angle you want to change this, and you'll see over here that will change as well. So I'm going to put in 180 degrees, and as you see that just flipped now. So now it's going to start etching from the top and work downwards, whereas before you see it went up the etching. So okay, gonna send that. I'll just name it Lightburn again, overwrite it, back to the machine, and we're going to file, enter. Make sure they look about right again on here. Let's just let these load. Okay, both loaded, so now I'm going to press frame, just make sure they're still good. Okay, so that's framed, and you can see 400 speed, 20 power. And the two etchings again, so I'm going to put this back down and let this make the second pass and see how it improves it. Right, and that's after the second pass. So you can see the lighter one, the one that I lightened up a bit in Photoshop, I think to me looks a bit better. It's kind of got more, it's closer to white, you know, and darker. I think the second pass I could have turned the power up a little bit more. I went 20 power, I think maybe 23 or 24 power might have darkened these out a little bit more, but I mean that's all, everybody's sort of, most lasers are different, so you just got to get the correct power and speed. But yeah, that's how them two come out straight off the machine. So I'll go down them, and then I'll put a photo of them both, the first pass and the second pass, just to show the difference between doing one pass or two passes. I mean, you could go another pass over it and, you know, darken it a bit more again. if you wanted, or you could even stop at the first pass. I mean, it don't look bad, but we'll see on the comparison. But thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and for future videos I'm sure I'll have some coming up pretty soon about other photos and using the laser. So thanks again for watching. Bye bye. Yeah, so that's roughly how you do. Like I say, just mess with your speed and power. Just make sure you're using a .bmp and then the pass-through mode. And yeah, make sure everything's clean and good, and then you're good to go. On the computer, back on the computer, I just wanted to show this was how they originally looked, and the lighter one came out better. So you can see the lighter one's got kind of half the amount of dots in some of the areas, but just wanted to show that so you can, you know, got an idea of what it looks like in Lightburn. I'll just quickly preview it so you can see how the preview of them both looking. And you can see, like on the mask, it's a lot less dots. So just the areas you want a bit more pronounced, like, you know, this, you just want to make sure they ain't got too many dots in them. But yeah, there's the comparison of them two on there.